Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I just did that. I wasn't going to confess.
The air
I did
conditioning.
from 76 to 73.
I'll take it.
Like sometimes I keep my mouth shut and sometimes I just can't. It's like I haven't even been accused of anything. I can take full responsibility. What is wrong with me? Thank you. What are you teaching? Did I say hello to you like 5 minutes ago?
Yes.
Okay. I wasn't sure if I said hello. I figured it's better to say hi twice than not at all.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back.
Grazie, grazie.
Your trip looked gorgeous.
Looks so nice.
Yeah, how long were you there for?
Like 3 weeks maybe?
Oh my god, a long time.
I know.
Hey.
It could have been
I
longer.
know.
How are you?
I'm good.
Mm.
Yeah,
Hair's long.
hair is long. It got cut and it's still long.
Mm. What a blessing.
Yes. There's like 2 containers of almond oil in it right now to like nourish the scalp, and then I'm gonna go swimming and wash it out.
Where are you swimming?
There's a pool over by my house at 49th and Pine
Mm.
that has like lap lanes.
I'm like in the hair. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm so jealous.
Well, we can, next time I get a trim, we can make a little wig.
A
You
little
can
bit.
have it. Hello. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Good summer?
Good summer.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I could take another month of like July though. You know, like if we could
Yeah.
just add another July and keep the rest of the year, I'd be happy.
Is July better than August? Is that?
I think it feels better
Yeah.
than August.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
There's like more outdoor time. August feels like the fall is coming.
True. True.
Versus July, you're like
But
footloose
fall's the
and
best, right?
I know it is.
Yeah. But then that means winter.
You know, the cycles
Live in the
continue.
moment.
I know.
Live
You're
in the
right. The
moment.
yoga teachings. Oh man, true. Ah. Keyshawn, where's your next trip? You going anywhere?
I'm probably, I don't know, this France pipeline is like,
This what?
the France pipeline is
Yeah.
what I'm going to do for the foreseeable future. It was just like, I haven't been there since before the pandemic.
Yeah.
So it was like getting back into it, and their direct flights were really good news. So it was just like,
Easy.
it was easy, and it was one of those things where I just like felt right back in the stream of things.
Yeah.
Maybe because it's such an old country and they like appreciate old stuff.
Yeah.
Was walking around, I was like, like it felt like nothing had changed,
Yeah.
which was amazing, and I felt so rested. Speaking of,
Mm.
do you ever do yoga retreats? You don't like them?
I haven't done one. I
Ah.
just like haven't. Hasn't been on the docket.
Uh-huh.
It's not off the table. I'm just trying to figure out like what
The situation is.
the situation and like where would I go and what would it look like, you know, because there's so many different ways of doing
Like to
them.
teach, I mean.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. To lead one,
Mm.
where I'm like, my soul is like when I travel, I just want to sit down and hang out with my friends.
That's real.
You know, because I teach here so much, but it's not off. And I've never been to it. I myself have never been to a yoga retreat.
Oh, really?
So I'm not even sure. I've been to like a 3-day one in upstate New York, but that was like a silent meditation, less of a yoga retreat.
Mm.
But why do you ask?
Because the place where I ended up staying in this small town, St. Paul de Vence, it's like there was a small hotel and they had a veranda that I got to do yoga in, and it was across.
You like self-led, or there was a teacher that would come in and you
No,
would...
I was literally just watching you videos on YouTube, you and Mariel. And then, but it's like small, like it could max fit like 10 people in there.
Yeah.
So I talked to the hotel and I was like, because I just felt so restored there. I was like, what would it take to host like a black and brown yoga retreat here? And they were just like, just let us know. So now I'm putting out feelers
Yeah.
to like my friends and stuff to just
Would
be
the
like,
idea be like, is there 10 rooms in the hotel? Like it would, everyone who's doing the retreat would take over the hotel?
yeah,
That's nice.
because they're not like, it's not like a proper hotel where they're like door.
Right.
Like each person has almost like a little like villa-y thing.
That's
Like
nice.
no kitchen, and there's a kitchen there.
Yeah.
So literally, I would just like wake up, journal. I would tell them what I wanted for breakfast. They would make it, and then I would go do yoga, and then go sit by the pool, and then go into town, go to the museum. Now I'm in this putting out feelers.
Yeah.
Because like I can't find one that I would want to do.
Yes.
Like I saw one at the what is it, Cremont, some institute that's in like Western Massachusetts or something.
Yeah, Kripalu.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They have one, but then when I watched the videos of the instructor, it felt very guru-y.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I don't really want to do this.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think the part about leading the yoga retreat is like the actual content to me of the week seems very feasible. You know, like that's not the issue. The issue is finding the place and logistics to stay. But like if that's already scouted out and stayed in, it makes the link so much more easier.
Exactly. And I guess at this point in the conceptualization of the thing, like I'm kind of like figuring out the logistics, and then it would be like, okay, like how much would it cost for your time?
Right.
And then I would now I'm at the pricing point.
Yes.
Like, okay, so then how is it feasible? Like, what would it cost each person?
Right.
And then that's where I'm at. Like, that'll decide if it's even like a
accessible.
thing.
Yeah. I think Mariel leads retreats all the time, and I know this Greece one, she worked with a company, and I think there's like just even seeing what the company rates offer like helps create a framework or a reference.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, I don't know, it could be $1,000, it could be $40,000.
But the Greece one was like, I was like, can it be less expensive than that? But that's the thing, I don't know if it can be.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now.
I think I don't know. The Mexico one is more affordable because I think that one's not led out of a retreat, like a organizing body. Like Mariel has a relationship with the hotel, and maybe that helps cut the cost a little bit. But I think I can send you the link to the company that she used to like organize the Greece one, just to be like, what's the general volume of finances? But yeah, we'd love to keep chatting.
I will.
Yeah.
Think about what it would cost.
Yes. Free 99
No.
for everyone.
Oh, that would be
For
amazing.
everyone.
I think I could, like, there is a world where I could get grants on that. Anyway, I like this.
Yeah. Made it.
I made it.
Early.
I know. I always say that, and then I'm like, wait, I could just get my shit together. I could just leave right now.
But you know, it's nice to have the threshold of like, just in case I'm late.
Yeah, I'm just trying to prepare somebody to be disappointed.
Yes. Hi, Cosmo. Hi, y'all. Good to see you. We'll start soon. While you're getting settled and comfortable, you can go ahead and grab all of the props this afternoon. We'll have some time to roll, so if you'd like to grab some therapy balls in the white baskets, a strap, 2 blocks, and then we'll be spending a lot of time on the knees. So I always like to offer, if you'd like a blanket for any extra padding, you can grab one of those. And then I can also bring you stuff as we start to move around, but we'll start really soon. Oh, yay. Hi. Oh. How are you? Good. It's good to see you. I was at my own retreat of vacation at the beach. Yeah. But I think they're all coming back soon, so I can't wait to hear about it. Yeah. Hi, Anne. Good to see you.
How was your vacation?
It was so nice. It was so nice. Yes. Welcome, y'all. I think we're just waiting on 1 or 2 more folks, and there's lots of room for everyone to sneak in on a little cooler Monday. So it's good to be with you all. There's a bunch of new faces to me, or maybe it's been some time since we've met each other or seen each other. So my name is Anisha, and thanks for being here. The one announcement I was just reminded of today, namely because I'm teaching one in September, so it's good to keep track of it, but a lot of teachers at the studio at Three Queens, we also teach monthly classes at the Bach Rooftop, and those are all fundraiser classes that are coordinated with Katie Gold, who runs KG Strong, the fitness studio in Bach Building. And Stacia, who teaches here and a bunch of other studios, is teaching one very soon, I think next week. I literally looked at the date and the time 5 minutes before you guys all came in, and it's already gone out of my brain. So the suggestion, the announcement that I have is if you're interested, you can Google Bach Rooftop Yoga and see the whole lineup, and 100% of the proceeds are donated to changing nonprofits each month. So I'll be teaching the one on September 8th. It's a Tuesday night. I purposely asked I think this is my 8th or 9th year teaching it, and I've taught in every single month. And last year in July, it was 104 degrees on the roof, and I was like, Katie, can I please teach in September when it's a little cooler? So, hi Josie, the weather is phenomenal, and the views are exquisite. So I'll tell you closer when we get to it, but just to keep it in your mind's eye if you're an outdoor yoga person. Okay, we made it back, still in July. But here, as a reminder, over the past year or so, what I've been liking doing in the past couple of years in teaching, I like to teach one pose or a series of poses kind of week after week to see how they begin to shift and transform and changing how we relate and see our orientation to the poses themselves. So last week, this week, and until somebody comes up to me after class and is like, please stop teaching this pose, no, we'll do it for just a couple more weeks. We've been working on one pose in particular and all of its orientations to gravity. I found in the recesses of my library, my comic book, that the pose is related to. And if you came last week, you may know what we're getting into. If you didn't come last week, welcome. But in the month of July, in the heat of humidity and in the thick of summer itself, we're practicing a pose that's dedicated to one of the great lords of the yoga tradition, and his name is Hanuman. And I know some of in the back might not be able to see, but after class, feel free to come take a look at the comic itself. But he's the god who has the face of a monkey, the body of a human, and you can't really see it here, but he has a really long tail that helps him leap in his full splits from one universe to the other, from one unknown territory to the other. So if we were together in January, you might remember the whole month of January I dedicated to doing full splits to see the metaphor and to practice the metaphor that Hanuman represents, which is he always leaps in the story that I'll tell you from today and next week. He always starts with one foot in really known territory. He knows the forest that he lives in. He knows the people he's around. But in every single story that he's doing these leaps and flying splits into, he never knows where he's going to land. It's always unknown, uncharted territory. And I like to think of it in the beginning of the year because it symbolizes starting in January, knowing this known territory of where we're in and continuing to leap through the rest of the year. And now that we're in July, almost halfway through the year itself, we kind of know what came before, might have an idea of what comes after, but there's still the leap to be completed. And so the story that I'll tell you today and where we'll shift it into gravity is the story of where Hanuman is in the forest. Let me start it back. Once upon a time, thousands and thousands of years ago, Hanuman was in the forest with all of his friends, with the people that he traversed the forest with. And long story short, I'm giving you the Cliff Notes version of it. You can always look to see more greater details. But one of his friends, Lakshman, gets poisoned and is slowly collapsing on the floor of the forest. And one of the sages that's in the collective with him says the only way to save Lakshman is you got to go to this mountain that's really far away, go through a river, around the woods, not to grandmother's house, but find this flower that you can crush up and bring to Lakshman as the antidote. Everyone in the collective is like, I don't know how to get there. I don't know what the path is. And you're telling us we have until sunrise the next day? Like, that's nearly impossible. And so Hanuman, it's his call to action. And he says, in a journey that will take 18 hours, I can do in 18 seconds, not knowing whether or not he can actually do it himself. And so he has one foot in very known territory, in the forest where all of his friends are, where his brother is dying. And he takes one full split into the heavens and ends up landing at the foothills of the Himalayas, where this mountain is. There's a lot of other stuff that happens. For the sake of today's story, I'm not going to tell that to you, but just leave you with a little teaser. He fights a crocodile that ends up being a goddess who tells him to avoid the sage who's trying to kill him, yada, 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 yada. But he gets to the forest, and he's searching around the mountain, and he can't find the antidote, and he sees the sun coming down. And so he says, all right, I have no choice. He picks up the entire mountain in one hand, and with holding a mountain in the hand, takes another full flying split into the forest where Lakshman is dying. He returns the mountain. The sage quickly finds the antidote, heals Lakshman, and then looks at Hanuman and says, you can't just leave the mountain here. You got to take it back because it doesn't exist here. And so Hanuman, knowing that his task is completed, does one more, takes the mountain, leaps, places it back, and then comes back to where he was always supposed to be. The end. But why, we're doing splits today, if you didn't catch where the story is going. We're going to do them 4 times in different orientations to gravity. And the reason why I love to share these mythological stories in class, especially in yoga class, is because, it's not lost on me that doing splits in any orientation is a full body experience. It's by no means a pose that we stay in for a short time or a long time. But it is a pose that we ask ourselves to leap from the known into the unknown and see what it is that holds us together. And that's never further than your breath. So I have a million more things to say about it, but in the service of getting moving, we'll see where it starts to take us. But today, and for the next couple of weeks, we see the Hanuman within us itself. So when you're ready, go ahead and take a comfortable seat or as comfortable a way to be as possible. You might start seated with your legs crossed. You might be on your knees. You might also start lying on your back in any way, shape, or form that you so choose. But as you find as steady a way to be as possible, let your hands fall anywhere they fall, into your lap or onto the tops of your thighs. To let your eyes soften or close so you can listen for your own breath. When you close your eyes, it's just a pause and a moment in time to see every part of yourself more clearly. To turn your attention less from what's external and outside of you, to more what's happening under the surface of your own skin. So as you take any small shifts to your seat, to your clothes, to your hair, can your attention slowly begin to turn towards your breath? Let your next breath in move from your nose, down into your belly, and up into your chest. And as you exhale, can you feel the breath move up and out through the very top of your head, so your head rests above your heart, and your heart rests above your hips. Take a few more of these breaths just on your own, letting each breath move in and down so it fills you up. And as you exhale, keep that inner body bright, but can you let your outer body soften? Let the shoulders soften. Let the jaw soften. We'll begin our practice and our time together with 3 more rounds of that breath. So as you're ready, begin to draw your hands to center, anywhere that might feel for you, somewhere on your person or in front of your heart, in a moment of self-reverence. If your hands are in Anjali Mudra, you might pull those thumbs back to touch your heart as you lift your heart up into your thumbs to meet yourself where you are. Wait for your next breath to fill you up completely, and exhale to offer all of that breath out. 2 more times, just on your own. the bottom of your breath. Pause for even a moment and notice any shift or differences that might come when you remember your own breath. And as you keep a thread of that connection inward, let your hands slowly release. Start to blink your eyes open. And we'll begin standing today at the top of your mat to start to link your breath and movement together. You might have your blocks come to frame out the front corners and sides of your mat. Perhaps you use them as we start to move about. But as you come up to stand, let your feet be right underneath your hips with all 10 toes pointing straight ahead. Unlock your knees if they tend to lock out, and let your arms fall down by your sides. Take a long breath in and down as it fills you up completely. And as you exhale, try to press down through your feet to grow up and out through the crown of your head. Now stay standing. As you inhale, begin to sweep your arms forward and up to the ceiling. Get an inch taller. Stay standing as your hands come down by your sides. Let's do that 3 more times on your own. Unlock the knees. Take a big breath in to reach up. And wait for the exhale to let the arms come down by your sides. Now continue twice more. As you breathe in, can you slide the ribs and belly back as you stretch up through the arms? And as you exhale, even as the arms come down, can you grow taller through the crown of your head? One more time, find a steady point to gaze in front of you as you breathe in. And on your exhale, let your hands float down by your sides. Now the next time you inhale, sweep the arms forward and up. Get 2 inches taller. And as you exhale, soften your knees, hinge from your hips to fold. Let your hands come onto your blocks or fingertips out in front of your feet. You might widen your feet an inch or 2 or soften the knees to give your low back a little extra room. But can you let the weight of your head get heavy here against the earth, taking a slow breath in through the nose? Stay for the exhale as you bow in towards your own self, towards your own heart and being. Now on your next inhale, come up halfway to lengthen. Come up to your blocks or fingertips or shins as you reach your heart forward. And on your exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Let's do that a few more times. Slow inhale to come up halfway. Try to unlock the knees, tone the belly to support the low back. And as you exhale, fold, bowing towards your heart. Once more on your own, a slow breath in. Reach the bottom of your heart forward. And as you exhale, keep that length as you fold and bow in. Now begin to plant your hands to the top of your mat. Walk your feet to the back of your mat to bring yourself back to downward facing dog. And now in your first down dog, or all of them, see if your hands can come as wide as your mat. Let your pinkies even graze the edges of your mat itself. Bring your feet an inch or 2 wider than they are already, and begin to lift both heels as you take a tiny bend in your knees. Let your hamstrings and the backs of your legs release. Now with the knees soft, send the ribs back, stick your butt to the sky, and with your right knee bent, pedal just your left heel to the ground to see what you feel in the back of the left leg. Breathe in through the nose and all the way out through your nose or mouth. Now soften the left knee, stick your butt high to the sky, pedal just the right heel to the ground, and notice what the back of the right leg feels like. A long breath in and a deeper breath out. Now begin to lift both heels. Soften your knees, look between your hands, and on your inhale, ripple forward to plank pose, the top of your push-up. We'll stay here for a few breaths, so whether your knees are lifted or tapped down to the ground, remember the breath itself. Without moving your legs, can you energetically hug your legs towards each other? Feel the inner thighs ignite. Now, without moving your hands, hug those palms towards each other. Feel the forearms engage. Slide your ears back so your head is in line with your chest. A big breath in. And as you exhale, begin to bend your elbows to lower all the way down onto your belly. Keep those hands as wide as your mat. Inhale to rise for baby cobra or cobra as you lift your heart up. And on your exhale, take it up and back to downward facing dog, tabletop, or puppy pose for 3 deep breaths here on your own. You know, sometimes people will come up after class and say, Can you tell me why you're sharing these mythological stories in a yoga practice? And it makes sense. They are fantastical tales that you may or may not have heard that kind of stretch your imagination. But the beauty of all of these stories is that the mythology offers metaphors of our entire human existence. So while you may not be carrying a literal mountain doing full splits and leaps, there's a way in which we all experience that in our own body and being. So even here in the shape almost of a mountain, holding the weight of your body against the earth, take a long breath in through the nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. Now at the bottom of your exhale, begin to lift your heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and 1 foot at a time, walk your feet up towards your palms to come into your forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen halfway, unlock the knees, try to tone the belly. And as you exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Take a long breath in to rise, stand through your legs, reach your arms up, get a drop taller. And as you exhale, let those hands come down by your sides. Following your breath more than my voice, a round of Surya Namaskars. Breathe in to reach the arms up. As you exhale, fold Uttanasana in towards yourself. Inhale to lengthen halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And as you exhale, fold, plant your palms as you step it back to plank pose, the top of your push-up. A long breath in, hug the arms and legs together. And as you exhale, bend your elbows to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. With those hands as wide as your mat, inhale to rise, Cobra Bhujangasana. And as you exhale, take it back to downward facing dog, tabletop, or puppy for 3 more breaths here on your own. Try to slow down the next breath in and really lengthen the entirety of your exhale out before letting the next cycle continue. Holding the weight of the mountain in between your hands, can you feel the steadiness and smoothness of your own breath? A longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Now at the bottom of your exhale, take your time, lift your heels, soften your knees, peek forward, and come forward, feet to your hands, to your standing forward fold. Inhale brings you halfway up to lengthen, grow long through the heart, and as you exhale, fold in towards yourself. Use your own fists and measure those feet about 2 fists width apart. That's relatively hip distance. And with your toes pointing ahead, bend your knees, sit your hips back, and slide your hands to your thighs for this round of chair pose. Now sit that butt way back to the back of your mat. Guide your knees open towards your second and third toes. And now this time, bring your hands onto your ribs just to feel your own body itself. For some of us, the ribs want to move more forward. Can you slide the bottom ribs back like you're stitching your fingers together? And now slide the ears back to lift your chin. You might stay here the whole time. If you want to add some heat in the upper body, reach your arms to the sky. But remember the breath, a long breath in and down. Stay for the exhale, think butt heavy as you lift your heart and even your gaze away from the floor. On your next breath in, come all the way up to rise. Stand through your legs, reach up to touch the sky. And as you exhale, fold, bowing in towards yourself. Keep your right foot forward, step your left foot all the way back to find your lunge. And now lower your left knee onto a blanket or the floor back behind you. Once your back knee taps down onto the ground, heel toe your right foot an inch over to the right. And on your inhale, come up to rise to lift your chest away from the ground with your hands to your hips. Here, drag your right heel back, hug the left knee forward. And as you lift your gaze away from the ground, on your next inhale, reach your arms forward and up. This time, bend your left elbow, pat yourself on the back. Let your right fingertips grab onto the left elbow. Now think elbow high to the sky. Slide the ribs back as you press your head back and start to look away from the ground. A long breath in and down. Stay for your exhale. Think left elbow high to the ceiling. As you bend 1 more inch into your front knee and thigh, let it get heavier to the earth. Now slowly let your hands release as you tap your palms down to the ground, lift your back knee and step it all the way back forward, back into your forward fold. Inhale lengthens you halfway. Unlock the knees. Lean more into the balls of your feet than the heels. And as you exhale, fold in towards yourself. For that second side, keep your feet hip-width apart. Step your right foot back all the way to lunge. And lower your back knee onto any padding that you need. Heel toe the left foot a few inches to the left. And as you breathe in, come up to rise to lift your chest up. Now here, those hips want to spiral open to the right. Can you wrap your left hip back, the right hip and thigh forward, and start to look away from the ground to where you're going? On your next breath in, sweep your arms forward and up as you bend your right elbow to pat yourself on the back. Let the left fingertips hold on, and instead of pulling the elbow to the middle of your head, press your right elbow more to the right and lift the elbow high to feel sensation in the muscle rather than the joint. Now the ribs slide back as you press the head back. As you press the head back, can you slide the ribs back? A long breath in. Stay for the exhale as you bend into your front knee and thigh. Lift your right elbow up towards the ceiling as you lean back. Now slow inhale to release your hands, tap them down to the ground. Lift your back knee, and we meet in downward facing dog as you pedal the heels from one side to the other. Let those hands come as wide as your mat. Give yourself some room. And a couple more times together, inhale through to your plank. Wait for the exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. Drink that breath all the way in as you rise for Cobra. Hug the shoulder blades towards one another. And on your exhale, up and back to downward facing dog. A slow breath in through your nose and a deeper breath out through your nose or mouth. And from your down dog, as you breathe in, lift the right leg up and back. Step your right foot through or around to find your lunge. You might bring blocks with you as you pivot your hands and feet over to the left and come into your wide-legged forward fold facing the long edge of your mat. Now, whether your hands are on blocks or fingertips, just check to see in front of you. If you were to come up halfway, is there going to be a butt really close to your head? I think there's room. But if so, you might heel toe yourself a little forward and back. Because spoiler alert, press into the fingertips or blocks and do come up halfway to lengthen. Lean forward. Unlock the knees. And now here, without moving your feet, can you hug your legs towards each other? Feel those inner thighs engage. Now keep that as your right fingertips stay connected to your block or to the floor. Bring your left palm to your low back. Shrug your left shoulder to the ear. Hug the left shoulder blade to your spine, and from your belly button, start to turn to the back of the room. The hand on your low back can act as a little reference. Is your butt trying to sway with you? If it is, lean your butt more to the front of the room. It's okay if you untwist a little and turn your belly and chest to the back of the room. And now slide your ears back so your head is in line with your heart. Breathe here, or maybe you reach your left arm to the sky as you take one more breath in. Stay for the exhale. Unlock the knees as you lean back against yourself. Good. On your next breath in, unravel. Lower your left hand back to the block or floor. Start to turn your right knee and toes through to lunge. And as you heel toe your right foot a few inches over to the right, on your next inhale, come up to rise for high lunge. Reach your arms and your chest to the ceiling. Like you did in that first low lunge, wrap your left hip forward, the right hip back. And now ribs back as you look away from the ground. A full breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend one more inch into your front leg. Now hands come to your hips. Straighten your right knee. Take a big breath in to grow tall. And as you exhale, hinge at your hips and bring your hands to blocks or the floor on either side of your right foot. As you frame out the right foot, press into your blocks and do come up halfway to lengthen. One more time. Reach your chest forward. Keep your left fingertips connected. Bring your right hand to your right hip. And for this variation of revolved triangle, wrap that right butt cheek back. Shrug the right shoulder up and back. And from your belly, start to turn open to the right. Good. Keep wrapping the outer right hip back. Press the big toe side edge of your right foot down. And as you lean back against yourself, maybe you reach your right arm up to the sky. A big breath in. Stay for the exhale and think bottom ribs back like you did in chair pose. Good. Now inhale to unwind. Lower your right hand to the sticky mat, bend your front knee, and take it all the way back to downward facing dog. With those hands as wide as your mat, follow your breath. Inhale through to plank pose. Wait for your exhale to lower, Chaturanga Dandasana. A slow breath in to rise. For cobra, press your feet down even as you lift your chest up, and exhale to take it back to downward facing dog. You might mentally locate your strap. We'll add a little shoulder stretch on this side, so as you lift the left leg to the sky, step your left foot through or around to find your lunge. Pivot your hands and feet over to the right, maybe bringing your strap with you for that wide-legged forward fold on the second side. Now here, check to see that all 10 toes are pointing straight ahead. Unlock the knees and grab the strap between your hands somewhere at your low or middle back, or you can interlace your fingers, up to you. But start with your elbows significantly bent here. Sometimes they really want to lock out. Bend the elbows a lot. Hug your shoulder blades towards one another. And as you breathe in, start to reach your arms off of your butt towards the ceiling as you bow in towards yourself. Now unlock your knees. Unlock the elbows, please. And as you breathe in, energetically hug your feet to center like you're pulling energy from the ground up into the legs. As you exhale, try to tug your strap apart. Kiss the shoulder blades together as you reach your arms towards the direction of the brick wall, bowing in towards yourself. Breathe. That's it. Now slowly let your hands tap down to your butt. Ditch your strap if you have it. And as you come up halfway to lengthen with your fingertips to blocks or the floor, reach your chest forward. Keep your left hand connected. Bring your right palm to that low back. Shrug your right shoulder to the ear. Wrap the right shoulder blade onto your spine, and from your belly, turn to the back of the room. Now the knees really want to lock, and the butt really wants to come with you. Can you hug your feet together? Lean your butt more to the front of the room. It's okay if that untwists you a little. Keep the hips steady. And as the belly and chest turns to the back of your mat, lean back. Let your head be over your heart and your heart over your hips. Stay or reach the right arm to the sky, but one more breath in and a longer breath out through your nose or mouth. Now on your next inhale, unwind. Lower your right hand. Turn your left knee and toes to find your lunge. And as you heel toe your left foot an inch to the left, one last time, come up to rise for high lunge. Wrap the right hip forward, the left hip back. And now think ribs back as you stretch up through the fingertips. A bigger breath in. Stay for the exhale and bend into your front knee. Now hands come to your hips. Straighten your left leg. Take a big breath in to get an inch taller. Look away from the floor. And as you exhale, hinge from your hips. Bring your fingertips to blocks or the floor on either side of that front foot. Now in this version of pyramid, remember the hips want to spin open to the right. Wrap the right hip forward and the left hip back. And now do come up halfway to lengthen. Reach your chest forward. Keep your right hand connected. Bring your left hand to your left hip. And as you shrug your left shoulder up and back from the depths of your belly, turn open to the left. Good. Wrap the left butt cheek back. Press the big toe side edge of your left foot down. And to support the twist, think bottom ribs back, like you have another set of hands on the ribs that can slide them back. Maybe you reach your left arm to the sky as you take one more long breath in. Stay for the exhale, lean back against yourself. Good. On an inhale, begin to unwind. Lower your hands to your sticky mat and step it all the way back to downward facing dog. And from your down dog, take a breath to pedal the heels, notice any shifts, and remember your breath. On your next inhale, come forward to plank pose, the top of your push-up. And as you exhale, lower all the way down onto your belly. Once you're on your belly, reach your arms alongside of you and turn your palms down to face the floor. You might rest on your forehead or on your chin for a moment, but feel those legs back behind you in space. Now, without moving them, can you energetically hug your legs together as if they could become one lightning rod of energy? Push your palms into the floor and hug the shoulder blades together. Now, on your next inhale for locust pose, start to lift your head, lift your heart, lift your arms up off of the ground, and exhale to lift your legs up and away from the earth as you take flight. Try to soften or even close your eyes and really remember your breath itself. With each inhale, can you hug the thighs towards each other and lift the inseams of your pants to the sky? That'll clear space in the low back. Now hug the shoulder blades together. Lift your palms one more inch as you take a big breath in. And on your exhale, release, lowering all the way to the ground. You might make a pillow with your hands, rest on your forehead or on one side of your cheek. But call yourself back to your breath. It's the story of Hanuman, the one who leaps from the known into the unknown. And regardless of every direction he's pulled in, he always calls himself back to what he's moving the mountain for. And it's here that ability to call yourself back is never further than your own breath. So if you're on a cheek or on one side of your palm, you might switch sides just to keep it even as you take one more breath in. And even open your mouth to let all of that breath out. Now, after a few breaths, bring your hands to either side of your chest, press up through to tabletop, and make your way back to downward facing dog for a few moments longer as your hips lift to the sky. Now, from your down dog, do let those hands come as wide as your mat. It'll give you a little more surface area to steady yourself. And on your next inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Now, pause here as you flex your right foot and straighten your right knee. Like you did in all of those pyramid poses, can you turn your right hip and toes to face the ground, lift your right inner thigh towards the front of the room, and now come onto your left tippiest of tippy toes as you lift your right inner thigh one more inch towards the top of your mat. Now look between your hands and step the right foot to the outside of your right hand and come into your lizard lunge. Come high onto blocks or fingertips and take your time to lower your back knee down onto the floor or your blanket. Press into the ground to lift your chest away from the floor. And for the first of the thigh stretches, one block or one hand at a time, you'll start to walk your hands to the left corner of your mat, away from the right leg. Now peek over your left shoulder, say hi to your left foot, and as you bend your left knee, lift your left toes up off the ground. Keep your right hand connected. Reach your left hand around for the top of the foot or a strap to lasso around or the leg of your pants. Now here, to get into the thigh rather than the hip flexor, back your booty up towards that left heel. They do not have to touch, but try to send the top of your left thigh back. Now ribs back as you lift your gaze away from the floor. Stay here the whole time, or completely optional to walk your right hand towards the inside of your right foot. You might play with some balance and climb your right palm up onto the top of the thigh. You might also reach your right hand and wrap it around to hug onto the left heel. But it's not only a thigh stretch, we're in a back bend too. So can you slide the bottom ribs back? See what that does in the left thigh. Kiss the shoulder blades together and try to look away from the floor for Anjaneyasana or leaping monkey. A deep breath in and down. Stay for your exhale. Grow 1 inch taller through the crown of your head as you bend into your front knee. Now with care, release your right hand to anything it's connected to. Then let go of your back foot and step it all the way back to tabletop. Take a breath to see what you feel from side to side. And to downward facing dog, we meet again. Your hips lift to the sky. Oops, made it hotter. Okay, from your down dog, we got one more side to check out. So do bring those hands wide. And now lift your left leg up off the ground. Pause, take a few breaths. If you can suspend imagination, this is like a split, but your hands just happen to be on the ground. So instead of letting your left hip roll open to lift the leg higher, turn the left hip and toes down to face the floor, flex your left foot and straighten your left leg like you could kick the wall behind you. Now come onto your right tippiest of tippy toes, ribs back, lift the left inner thigh 1 more inch to the front of the room. And as you look between your hands, step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Lower your back knee onto any padding that you so choose and come high onto your blocks or fingertips inside of the left foot. Press into the ground, lift the chest away from the floor. And as you walk your hands 1 block over at a time to the right corner of your mat, we're trying to shorten the distance between your hand and foot, so when you bend your right knee and lift your right toes up, the right foot might have a little more access with the strap or with your hand to get the quad stretch. Now here, think booty back. Send the top of your right thigh back. And now the ribs back, and see what that does in the right thigh. As you lift your chest away from the floor, there's so much to do here. Find a point to gaze that steadies you. Or any of those variations apply. You might walk the left hand to the inside of the foot. You might climb it up onto the thigh. You might also wrap it around to hug onto the heel. But any and all of these variations, the prep for the split, the prep before he took the leap, slide the ribs back, lift your gaze to see where you're going as you take a long breath in. Stay for the exhale, bend into your front knee as you lift your heart away from the floor. And now with care, let your left hand release first. Then the back foot taps down as you step it back to tabletop. Take a few breaths on your hands and your knees. And for a moment longer, make your way back to downward facing dog as your hips lift to the sky. Take a breath to see any shifts and what it is that you notice. And now you might stay here the whole time. You can lower your knees to the ground at any point to feel closer to gravity, or your breath might take you through one of those linking vinyasas we've done together before. But can you offer it to your breath, whether you're staying still or moving? Slow down the next breath in and lengthen the entirety of your exhale out. After a few breaths, wherever you are, we meet back in downward facing dog. And now from your down dog, walk your feet to come as wide as your mat. A tiny bend in your knees, and 1 palm at a time, walk your hands back to meet your feet so you fold somewhere at the back-ish of your mat. Soften your knees, let your head be heavy. Your hands might touch the floor or blocks out in front of you, but take a deeper breath in and a longer breath out through your nose or mouth. Now after a few breaths with your hands to your hips, stand through your legs, and an inhale brings you all the way up to rise as your hands come down by your sides. Comfortably warm? It was on purpose. We want to get the muscles a little tenderized. Let's come to the wall. We're going to close at the wall this afternoon so you can bring all of your stuff with you, the short edges of your mat to some wall space. Lots of room. There's space here. I think there should be plenty of room for everyone to find a little sliver. Everyone finding some space? Okay. All right, we've made it. So the way, some of you know this already and some of us are new to it, but the way I like to teach some of these poses that, it's not often that we do a class of full splits. It's a class that we work to build up towards. But the beauty of Hanumanasana is now we've done it in many, many orientations to gravity. Those wide-legged forward folds, the pyramid poses that we tried out, and even, and especially, This guy is standing split, or is a Hanumanasana, just your hands are on the ground. So we're going to, in a moment, take Hanumanasana to the wall. I'm going to show it to you first. We'll do it once on each side, and then you'll get the option to do something different for the fourth round. But this is what it looks like, where, in a second, you'll come into tabletop with your hands wide, and in a moment, you'll lift into your tiny down dog. And now, very similar to what we've done before, you'll lift one leg up the wall as high as it can possibly go. And now the wall acts as a little mirror and a frame of reference. It kind of shows you where your body's natural tendencies are, because you have something solid to push into. So sometimes what happens is this hip really wants to roll open so that you can lift this leg higher. Sometimes this knee wants to be bent. I'm not saying anyone looks like this. I'm just extremely over-exaggerating what it looks like, just so that you can see. But the idea of what I want you to think about is giving yourself enough room that this back leg can be straight. And I'm less concerned about how high this leg is, but how much not only can you wrap this top hip down, but also lift this hip away from the floor. And some of you maybe on the side might be able to see it, but sometimes the ribs and belly really want to bellow towards the ground, and you might feel that more in the knee or in the back of the butt cheek. I want you to think ribs back, like you're holding the whole weight of the mountain, the earth underneath you as you look forward. You'll take a few breaths here. You'll lower the knees, rest in table or child's pose, and then we'll do the other side. Yeah? Let's see how it goes. If there are any questions, call them out, let me know. I guarantee you someone else has them too. But let's see how side one goes and where we're at. So, come to tabletop, please, with your feet somewhere close to the wall. And do bring your hands as wide as your mat. The more narrow your hands, the more you'll feel this in the upper back, hands wide. Now take a breath as you look at the thumbs and make your way up to your downward facing dog with your feet touching the wall somewhere. Good. Now in your down dog already, do you see if the ribs and belly are trying to bow towards your thighs? Ribs back and peek at the wrists. Now lift your right leg as high up the wall as it can possibly go. Try to let the right leg be straight and curl the toes under like you're preparing for a track meet. Good. Now here, without moving your legs, wrap your right hip down towards the earth to feel the outer left hip lift away from the ground so your belly's not resting on the left thigh. Now push through your palms to lift your butt up and back to the wall behind you. Are you breathing in there? Breathe in there. Slow breath in and a longer breath out. That's it. And now slowly lower the top foot. Take it back to tabletop, to down dog, to a forward fold, and see what shifts from side to side. That looked good. How'd that feel? Good. All the hips moved a lot. It was like, visually, it looked like your hips didn't move a lot, but I could see emotionally, maybe it felt like your hips were moving, not that I can see what your emotions are doing, but I heard more breath coming through. It was less of a gripping of breath and forcing your way into it, but more of creating space for that breath to find its way through. Should we try the other side? Any thoughts? Yes? Yes, absolutely. Slightly bent, on the tippy toes, heel on the wall. Mm-hmm.
Anisha, if you're engaging the right muscles, does the leg that you're supposed to lift up kind of elevate?
Yes? Yeah. It's secret upside down core work. Let's try the other side. And figure it out. Crack the code. Okay, let's try the other side. So tabletop, please. Do bring your hands wide and breathe here. There's no urgency as you make your way to your tiny down dog at the wall. Now press through your palms and lift your left leg as high up the wall as it can go. Curl the toes under and straighten the knee. If it feels like the knee is bent, walk your hands a centimeter further forward so you can straighten that leg. Now without moving your legs or hands or feet, wrap your top hip towards the floor. Feel the outer right hip lift, and now ribs back, like you could slide a palm between the top of your right thigh and your belly. A long breath in through the nose. Stay for the exhale, offer the breath out. And then to come out whenever you'd like, you lower the feet, take it to table, a forward fold, downward facing dog, anywhere where you can find some symmetry. Okay, if we're mimicking the story, you did the first leap. Right side was moving from the forest to catch the mountain. The second one was picking up the mountain to bring it to Lakshman, the poison brother. Are we with me? Do we remember the story? The point of this is 2 more splits to go because we got to return the mountain and then we got to go back. So the beauty of the yoga practice and really lots of movement practices is repetition plays a lot of benefit. Meaning, when you do this again, you learn something different, you see something different. Maybe you remember your breath a second sooner, or maybe your body's like, I don't want to do this anymore, and I would like to lay down. That is a phenomenal option and a place to choose, yeah? But in the service of the 4 splits, the 4 leaps, this next one is almost identical to what you just did, but just a few more softer adjustments. So this is what it looks like, where you come to your tabletop one more time, hands wide, and you make your way to your down dog. Now one leg lifts, just like you did before. And remember, there's a world to visit. What I want you to think about is now not just wrapping this hip down, but not trying to let your belly rest and hang out on this hip. Thinking ribs back and lifting this butt cheek away from the ground. And now the more you do that, you might have some space to walk your hands back like a centimeter or a palm print towards the wall. And here, it's not me trying to muscle my way away from the ground. I'm not trying to force and push, but it's the hips moving. It's this top hip wrapping down like a corkscrew to lift this bottom foot up off the floor. And as you push through your palms, ribs back, maybe you ground this foot down onto your sticky mat and send your pubic bone to the wall. You breathe, and then to come out, you rest.
Could you explain the corkscrew?
It's the same way that we just did the hips moving. Corkscrew might not be the analogy. It's just something that makes sense, like an image that makes sense in my brain, but it's the hips wrapping. Hip forward and hip back. And it kind of moves your legs as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did it on the first side.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Into your hands more. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that top foot won't have a lot of weight because it's so light. I'm pushing my palms down and forward to send my butt to the wall. Yeah. Splits for all. If you saw that and you were like, Anisha, I am not Hanuman, nor have I ever been. I never want to lift a mountain 4 times, let alone once. You can do what you just did. You can also be here. Hanuman did rest after all the mountains were delivered. You can observe the hardest part of doing something different than everyone else is just that, doing something different and feeling like you're doing something else. So I invite you to move it your own direction. But if you're moving towards this version, I'm going to talk you through it, and then we're lying down after this. So come into your tabletop, please. Feet to the wall, hands wide, spread the fingers. And now breathe. Let it be in reverence to your breath. Make your way to your down dog at the wall. Take a breath here. And now lift your right leg as high up the wall as it can go. Pause. We did this before, so just stay for a few breaths. Without moving your hands or feet, can you wrap your right hip down, lift the outer left hip up? That's that soft corkscrew action. And now ribs back. Only if it feels appropriate, you might walk your hands back an inch or a centimeter or a few handprints to the wall and squeegee the right toes higher up the wall. And now wrap your right hip down, your left hip away from the floor, and that might float your left foot up off of the earth. Breathe. Press through your palms to ground your left heel back to your sticky mat. Press through your palms to send your pubic bone to the wall. Ribs back. Woo! When you do not want to do this anymore, you walk your hands slightly forward, lower your knees, table, child's pose, a forward fold, somewhere where the right and left and front and back of you are doing something similar. So like I said, not holding a literal mountain in our day-to-day life, but holding the weight of the world. But can you draw to yourself? Can you feel the consistency of your own breath? That's the whole point. Last side. Fourth leap, Hanuman, and we all have to go back home. We can't just stay here for the rest of the day. Fourth leap, and then time to lie down. These look great. Let's come to downward facing dog for the last round. Do bring your hands wide and claw the fingertips. That'll alleviate pressure on the wrists. Now to your tiny down dog, it finds its way through you as you breathe. Lift your left leg as high up the wall as it can go. Flex your foot, straighten the knee. Your right foot is in that known territory. The left is in the unknown. So can you wrap your left hip down? Lift your outer right hip up. And now everyone, ribs back. Good. Only if it feels appropriate, walk your hands back an inch or two or full handprint towards the wall. And you dial it back in. You wrap your left hip down, the right hip up to maybe flex the right foot and float the right toes up off of the floor. And as you slide the ribs back, push through your palms to ground your right heel, bless you, to your sticky mat and send that pubic bone to the wall, breathing. Good. When you want to come out, you walk the hands forward, lower table, forward fold, child's pose on your belly, but 3 deep breaths here on your own. Try to slow down the beginning of your next breath in and lengthen the full breath out, every drop of your exhale. Take another long breath in through the nose to fill your belly and up into your chest. And open your mouth to let all of that breath out. Now, after a few breaths, you come back to table, press up through your hands and your knees. In a moment, you'll come to lie onto your back with your feet towards the wall and your head to the middle of the room. But have a couple things close. Place them on the right side of your mat. Have your block within a grabbable distance, and have those therapy balls somewhere that you can reach them to without having to get up. And as you come to lie on your back, give yourself enough room that your legs can extend out long. Your head is towards the top of your mat, and your feet are to the wall. Now, once you're on your back, bend your knees, bring both feet onto the sticky mat. And as you let your arms come alongside of you, press your palms into the floor and snuggle your shoulder blades towards one another to feel the back of your chest lift. For supported bridge, as you press through your feet, lift your hips just enough and slide that block underneath your hips or your pelvis, not under the curve of your low back, but the weight of your butt cheeks at its lowest or even second lowest height. Now, once you find the support of the block, snuggle the shoulder blades towards one another one more time, and gently press the back of your head down into the floor to let your chin not crane away from your chest, but gently lift so that the throat can be open for breath to find its way through. Your hands might stay heavy alongside of you. You might rest them on your hips or on your belly, but take 3 deep breaths here at your pace. Hanuman was also the son of Vayu, the king of the winds. Vayu, who governed how the winds moved and shift through the universe, through the air, and through the earth. And it's here you have that ability within yourself to feel the fluency of your own breath. You are every element and every character in the story. So as you feel the cool air as it comes in through the nose to fill your belly and chest, let the warmth of your exhale that you create and you generate pour itself through you. Now, after a few breaths, press through your feet with the least amount of effort needed to lift your hips and slide that block out from underneath your butt. As you lower your hips all the way down to the ground, walk your feet to come as wide as your mat, and just being mindful of neighbors or props, everyone drop your knees over to the right, like windshield wipers on a car. Inhale to bring the knees all the way back up through center, and big exhale to drop your knees over to the left. Now the next time you breathe in, draw your knees and your hips back through the middle. Give your legs a hug in towards your belly or in towards your chest. Make some small circles in one or the other direction. You might lean from one side to the other, but take a long breath in through your nose and deepen the next exhale out. Slowly release your legs down to the ground and locate those therapy balls. You'll take the therapy balls out of their tote so you can hold a therapy ball in each hand. And holding one therapy ball in each hand, with your knees bent, feet on the ground, lift your butt just enough and bring the therapy balls to the top of your butt cheeks. We're going to roll out the glutes this afternoon. So bring the therapy balls. Do you need one more? I can bring one over to you. As you bring the therapy balls to the top of your butt cheeks, let them frame out your tailbone. Think of them less in the bones of your low back, but more in the glutes themselves. And now once you find a sweet spot or somewhere you can be curious about, let your hands come down by your sides. Take a big breath in through the nose and open your mouth to let that breath out. Good. You'll keep your feet where they are and start to slowly sway your butt. So sway your hips a few inches to the right and knees to the left. And then hips slowly to the left as your knees travel to the right. And as you go a few more times just on your own, you'll feel how those therapy balls move along the upper fibers of your butt cheeks. Can you continue to feel that full experience of your breath itself, in through the nose and out through your nose or mouth? And now after a few breaths, as your hips come back through center, there's one more place to check out. Use your hands and lower the therapy balls another inch or two to come more to the middle of your butt cheeks. Start them pretty close together because eventually they'll get wider apart. But once you find the second place, a big breath in, open your mouth to let it out as you unclench your palms, your fingers, and your fists. Begin that slow swivel again. Sway your hips from right to left as your knees move in the other direction. And you feel the therapy balls move along the middle of your butt cheeks. What you'll start to feel is eventually, with no rush or urgency, they'll get wider apart, and they might end up towards the outer edges of your hips, the outer seams of your own pants. Once you find them there, wider than when they first started, keep them there as your hips come back through center. And now slowly heel-toe your feet over to the left side of your mat and drop just your right knee to the right so that right therapy ball finds its way into your outer right butt cheek. This part of your hip, your glute, did a lot to support you all throughout the splits. So can you take a deeper breath in through the nose? And as you open your mouth to let it out, let some part of you soften that might not need to hold on. Now on your inhale, draw the right knee back through center. Slowly heel-toe your feet all the way over to the right. And as you drop just your left knee to the left, that left therapy ball might find its way into your outer left glute. For some of us, you might have found a place you can breathe in. I'm questioning my entire life's worth when that therapy ball is in the butt cheek. You might have found one attachment of your piriformis. We'll take a big breath in to let all of that breath out. And now as you draw your knees and feet back through center, do pop both of those therapy balls out, set them off to the side, and let the weight of your butt drop down onto the ground. Take a breath into what you don't ordinarily see or feel, but you might notice. And now the next place to meet is in your pose of rest for a few moments, in your Shavasana. So give yourself a few moments here to add any props to support yourself. You might let your hair down or set your glasses safely off to the side. You might scooch just so that some part of your foot touches the wall to kind of close the circuit energetically, to feel your body get heavier into the earth. But however you find yourself, know that you can shift or adjust or change any shape to become heavier against the ground. And as you release the awareness or thought of your own breath, for these next few moments, can you let each round of your breath let your body become heavier against the earth? The leaps completed, and the breath still remains. And it's here, the heavier you continue to let yourself become, the more spacious, the more expansive, and the more yourself you might just start to feel. Begin to deepen your breath. Take a longer breath in and a deeper breath out. Take another breath in and down so it fills you up completely. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. Let your breath begin to slowly awaken the body that you're in with any gentle movement that feels supportive to you. You might roll your wrists or your ankles in one or the other direction. Perhaps you gently tip your head from one side to the other, heavy against the floor. Or being mindful of any props or neighbors around you, you might reach your arms away from your legs or draw your knees in towards your chest. But when the time comes, you can bend both knees, feel your feet heavy on the ground, and roll over to either side of your choice to curl into yourself. And with the least amount of effort required, press into the floor and come up to rise to a tall seat facing the middle of the room. As you find a tall spine and let your eyes soften or close, begin to draw your hands to anywhere that feels like center for you. Our time together will finish with one more round of that breath. So wait for your inhale as it fills you up. And exhale to offer all of that breath out. You might bow your head to your heart or lift your hands slowly towards your head in such a simple but profound gesture of self-reverence, bowing to yourself and to one another who practiced right alongside with you. And I bow to each and every one of you all. Thank you for choosing to be here and being together. Thank you. Yay. Drink water, take really good care of yourselves and each other. Happy summer. If there's any mats or props that you use from the studio or your own and you want to give it a swipe with, there's some wipes here. And otherwise, one more round of splits next week, because why not? I just have so many stories to share. There's like 5 more stories that I have, but I'm trying to rein it in. So we'll try for one more and then do something else for August. And then September starts the phenomenal time of year for storytelling. It's the story of the elephant-headed god, then the goddess, then Diwali. It's my favorite time of year. So lots of fun stuff coming up. But in the meantime, I'll see you soon. Thank you. Adriana and I are offering our 50-hour immersion with lots of storytelling and mythology and alignment and practice that starts conveniently on 9/11. I don't know how that happened. It was a weird choice, but we're here now. There was no retrograde. There was no like astrological things. It's just a tough one. But if you're ever curious about it, I can chat with you forever. But until then, I'll see you soon. Thank you. Oh. It's no, we did it.
I saw you and I was like, every time.
It's done and gone. You caught it. I just have been like, my yoga class, I'm like, what if I just color coordinate them all and turn it into a Crayola crayon?
No, it's great.
But I know, we're like all Pavlovian dogs, being like, blue means Jim's dad.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
No.